Hey, what's up, everybody? Corey Ryan Forster here from the Well-Read Comedy Tour. If you've come here, that means you were as intrigued with the goddamn Tiger King as we were. We thank you for taking part in what is the first episode of Tiger by the Tail, a well-read podcast special. During these crazy times, we want to be giving you guys content because we know it's hard out there. We hope you're staying safe. We hope you're able to stay inside. And we just hope everybody is doing as well as they can. We know it's hard. We had to do this on Zoom, not in a studio. Everybody was at their respective homes, which means that it's, going to look and sound like that. But it's a catch-22. Me and the guys were talking. If it wasn't for what's going on right now, we would never have the time to do this. But because of what's going on right now, this is the way it has to be. But for what it's worth, I think it turned out great. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we're putting all the episodes out at once. So once you finish episode 0 here, which is the preamble, go on to episode 1 and then watch it all the way through for the recap. We got a bunch of great guests. We had a lot of fun on this series, and we hope you guys have fun watching it. And like I said, stay safe out there. We love y'all. See ya.
Well, Winwood, Oklahoma's where we meet our Tiger King. He's got them monkey chimps and tiger cubs, the cutest thing you've seen. He's got all his meth head buddies, and they're all working for free, serving cheap Totino's pizza covered in rotten Walmart meat. Then, of course, there's old Doc Antle. The Tigers made him rich. And don't forget about Carol Baskins. Man, we fucking hate that bitch. We got a tiger by the tail, baby. Tiger by the tail, we got a tiger by the tail, baby. Tiger by the tail, we got a tiger by the tail, baby. Tiger by the tail, we got a tiger by
Well, here we are. Welcome to Tiger by the Tail, a well-read adventure. And it's a little mini-series podcast for y'all based entirely around the Netflix docu-series / cultural phenomenon known as Tiger King. First things first, why us? Everybody and their mama is locked up at home watching this shit and talking about this shit right now. Why should you care what we think about it? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, we hit talking about animals. Secondly, though, it's not. It's really, the show's really not about animals. What it's about is white trash, red assery. And I put it to you that you cannot come up with 3 more qualified motherfuckers that you fuck with to analyze it from that perspective. Do y'all agree?
I couldn't agree more. I'm ashamed at how much of it I agree.
Yes. We trash.
I
We
would
trash.
argue that the only person who could equal us was supposed to be right here.
Yes.
Supposed to be here now and isn't because he's been being too white trash, red assery.
That's
Yeah,
true.
he's so white trash that he's just not going to be here for it. That's
Mr. DJ Lewis, friend of the primary podcast. DJ will hopefully join us from the ether that he finds himself floating through for the past 48 hours or so. He'll be back. He'll be back to Earth. We'll get DJ in here at some point. But so I got to think. All right, I had a phone call the other day with a dude from he's from Massachusetts, and we were talking about Tiger King, and he was like, he asked me if it was like how much of a like Southern or redneck thing that was versus just an insane person thing. And at first I was like, dude, honestly, to me, I mean, like, sure, Florida, yeah, but like, I don't really view that as necessarily like a Southern thing or whatever. And then immediately, not trying to do a bit, immediately I was like, now, of course, in my hometown, we did have Big Bob, who had his little private zoo down by the park with all the, llamas and lynxes and monkeys and stuff that he kept and kangaroos and whatnot. But I mean, other than that, and the guy was like, well, Big Bob. And I was like, yeah, Big Bob. It was a whole thing. He was a big old fat gay man who wouldn't stop bringing Puerto Rican male prostitutes.
I forgot he was gay.
And very gay, very gay. And so, like, I basically said, like, no, we don't really fuck with all that. And then immediately told of a, like, Joe Exotic, adjacent motherfucker in my hometown. And it's very real. And I don't know if y'all had anything like that, but, like, it's always been there my whole life. So, like, we sincerely always took it for granted, Big Bob's zoo down there that he had. And all the different animals in it. You go down there and see if the llamas would spit on you from across the fence. You had camels and donks, which is zebras mixed with donkeys, because that hits. And but this story, I regret to inform everybody, does not have a particularly happy ending. I just found out within the last couple of weeks. This is fresh information. Again, he's had these animals my whole life, and this just happened probably right before Tiger King came out. I received news from back home that sadly and regrettably, Big Bob had his monkey, Carlos, taken away from him by MPS, Monkey Protective Services. They called them. They come down there and
fucking pigs. MPS.
Yeah, come down there and took. And here he is. I know a lot of y'all are listening right now and not watching. But if you're watching, that's Carlos behind me, right there. Carlos the monkey. He was confiscated from Big Bob by the federal government, and it was a whole thing, big thing. But the community, my hometown, was firmly in Big Bob's corner, saying things such as, this is all directly from Salina Facebook, one of the Hittner Facebooks, if you're into this sort of thing. I quote, I get, Bob was saying he might only be able to see Carlos the monkey every now and then. Well, I guess that's better than not seeing him at all. Everybody's been fucked over in court sometime or another. Maybe she'll violate that court order and you'll get Carlos back, right?
Right.
See, the part that I'm unclear on, there's a woman on the other side of this situation.
Is her name Carol?
If it ain't, she's very Carol-like for sure. Here's another some more advice for Bob. Bob, just pay the filing fee and quit spending your money on all these motherfuckers that can work and get your monkey back. I'll stand by you. You could probably get the name of a prominent local attorney in town to represent you. That bitch don't need that monkey. And I told you what to do, but you won't listen. So people are trying to get Bob to
What'd he tell him what to do?
Yeah.
He told him to kill her. No, that's a separate clause. That part of the paragraph was, in the past, I told you what to do. Now I'm telling you a new thing.
Oh, listen, here's the terms of the arrangement for Carlos the monkey and Big Bob. Bob was granted 2 to 5 minutes. 2 to 5 minutes on Saturday only. I saw him for the first time in 6 months, and we went to KFC. I have only 1 week from tomorrow to appeal this and raise $400.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can handle never seeing Carlos again. So it is sad, but
I'd like-
at least they got the KFC one last time.
Yeah, but only for 2 to 5 minutes. Goddamn, you can't even get a fucking breast down.
Surely he meant hours. I can't help but insert my past in right here. And when people say, Drew, why in the world would you quit being a lawyer? Especially the ones from my hometown. This is why, because I didn't want to be Carlos the monkey's lawyer. Guardian ad litem in there. These monkeys got rights, God damn it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, here's the deal. I think I fucked up and said Bob's actual name a couple times. I'm sure I did, but I meant to change Bob's name.
How many gay Bobs with a Puerto Rican boyfriend? And
I know. Everybody
named Carlos can
Everybody in Salina's gonna know I'm talking about for sure. But I'm just trying to, not put him entirely on Front Street. But I did not change Carlos's name, and so do monkeys have rights, Drew?
I feel like yeah, they do. But when you're a monkey and you belong to a gay man in Salina, you usually get a last name. So you could be talking about any monkey.
You remember that story where there's that guy who he was out in like the rainforest or some shit, and he had his camera and he was trying to take pictures and whatnot. And I guess this like monkey got a hold of his camera, and this monkey took a selfie. And they deemed that guy, like on Getty Images or whatever, that guy wasn't entitled to the rights to that because technically it was that monkey that took that picture and not him. So
what they do?
I think what I'm saying is,
got the money?
There is precedent that monkeys do have rights.
Monkeys have rights.
Well, we might have to censor Carlos's name.
I never assumed monkeys didn't have rights. I just feel like it's still not super clear what monkey you're talking about.
Right.
Now, when you posted his picture, I got some problems with that. Now I knew which monkey that was.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
had
it's
a
Carlos.
distinct. The way his tongue come out, he looked like he was on pills.
Yeah, he is. He was, I'm sure.
Monkeys on pills.
But dude, some of those quotes that bitch don't need that monkey. That's and just the matter of fact manner with all these people are just so like this is they're not fucking around. They're serious about all this. Like that bitch don't need that monkey.
Well, she don't.
Stop spending your money on these motherfuckers that could work and go and get your monkey back. I hope he took their advice to heart.
Is these motherfuckers that could work how an enlightened Solana citizen says those goddamn Puerto Ricans?
Prostitute. I mean, that's definitely how I interpret it.
Okay.
I ain't been around in a while, but that's very much what I thought.
So progress.
Yeah. How do y'all have? So that makes me wonder how prevalent or widespread do y'all have monkey or animal stories or what?
I got a couple, but they're from my time in Florida. First, let me say before I tell these stories, and I can't decide which one I want to tell, but first, I think it is a white trash the money thing, except that like rappers be liking them too. Wasn't it a thing that Mike Tyson wanted to own a tiger?
He did.
He did. Multiple tigers. He used to fist fight his pet tigers. He'd punch them in the balls on purpose just to fuck with them.
See, I think it's a crazy person thing.
Yeah.
But our crazy people, when you throw an accent on top of crazy, when you throw our accent on top of crazy, you know what I mean? It's like putting barbecue sauce on chicken. It's like suddenly we got a whole ass new dish here.
Yeah, like if Elon Musk had a fucking Southern accent, this shit would be going a lot different.
Yeah. His fucking name was Silas Musk.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my two stories. All right. I think I'll just start with this one. So both these are from Florida. I was working at the public defender's office, and we had a case. We had to represent a guy. This is in the news, so I'll say his fucking name. Like I looked it up just now to remind myself. His name is Brian Hahn, and he is one of those muscled up gay men.
Yeah.
Now we might be onto something here.
It's
with another common denominator.
Emerging, I feel like.
Yeah, this is 3 in a row of gay.
He had a pet hyena that he stole because somebody was abusing it somewhere he worked at, like some fucking shitty come look at the hyena shop. Went on to run with the hyena. Raised the hyena in a studio apartment on South Beach. We're talking 400 or 500 square feet. As he was living a 23-year-old, really jacked, good-looking, young gay man's lifestyle on South Beach.
Dude, how? Like didn't kill nobody?
It accidentally hurt him, like playing around.
How much of an accident was that, really? I mean,
well, he said they were wrestling because they always wrestled, and he got clawed accidentally.
My God.
He lost it. We defended him against like animal cruelty and I think stealing a hyena, not allowed. And I think he got probation or whatever. They put it in a sanctuary. I don't know if it was Carol Baskins. I don't think it is because she only fucks with cats and she's a hypocrite. But there's video of him now like going back and visiting, and when he does, that hyena goes nuts, like happy to see Jake, his boyfriend. That sounded like I was making a gay joke. I feel like they're connected.
So what?
And it's like, and I don't know if you guys, because hyenas aren't cute.
No, they're
actually very
hyenas
ugly.
Are fucking terrifying.
Their mouths go too far back.
Dude,
it don't look right.
Hey, look.
Well, I'm saying all that to say because of that, Lion King's the only thing they've ever been featured prominently in. And because they're up against tigers and it's a cartoon, do you guys understand how fucking big a hyena is?
Yeah, see, actually,
no, I know. I
don't.
was just thinking about hyenas, weirdly, because I think maybe all this Tiger King shit, because I was thinking about those guys. There's guys in Africa that I've seen pictures of them walking them around on chains like dogs and whatnot. And like, dude, hyenas are fucking wild, man. They're way bigger than you think they are. They're like, they're like almost like cat dog mixture. They're like a lion that's a dog. It's weird. They do that laughing type thing. They're like the Joker of animals.
Well, and their smile goes all the way back. But as far as their size, they're almost as big as tigers and lions. But they're like 40% to me of their body mass is all in their front shoulders because the way they walk. So they got trap muscles looking like fucking Goldberg out here on the, but like fronting that smile. They're freaky looking. And there's pictures of him holding
Did you see it?
Like
did you have to be present?
Nobody saw it. Like, he wasn't a witness, Trae. He didn't have to testify.
I don't know how the ball works.
He'll walk his ass in there. Hey, who do you want to live with? Point at him.
Yeah. They're going to call Carlos to the stand. And Bob
Man, I think we can put Carlos on the stand now. That's different. Monkeys are like us.
They are.
No, but I mean, I saw the pictures. There was a picture of him holding it. It's taller than him when he gets it up on his hind legs. And this was a big dude. You know what I mean? This was like a Miami Beach muscle boy.
Was that the first or second animal story?
That's the first one. I couldn't decide which one to tell. This was also Florida, and this isn't that wild until you consider it all together. My old trial partner, Jimmy, used to chain smoke and drink till 4 a.m. and then come in and win court cases, smelling like booze and wearing a crushed velvet suit. Jimmy lived, when he first moved down there, in this wild house. It was like apartments. It was like a house they turned to apartments, and they all shared a courtyard. And he had a dog, and everybody there had some type of dog. And then one owner, the owner who didn't live there, kept his potbelly pig in the back. So there was a 400-pound potbelly pig and 3 pit bulls, none of whom were spayed and neutered. One was the biggest pit bull I've ever seen. Full on had its balls. We bring Mick around, and that one wouldn't fuck with Mick because that one didn't have to fuck with nobody.
Right.
But there was an alpha bitch who like hated Mick, and if Mick got near the pig, them pit bulls protected the pig like it was their pet, like it lived in their yard. And the thing is, they would be mean to it. But if you or your dog got near that fucking pig.
This is
Shut up, Trae. Shut the fuck up, Trae. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Story. I totally understand it. That makes sense.
I saw you fucking start beaming with joy as soon as he said, but it's their pig.
And if you fuck with their pig, they don't like it. They're mean to it because it hits for them.
Buddy,
anybody else.
They were so mean to that fucking pig. I mean, and that pig was mean to them. That pig was annoying, always farting. Just like not doing any of the things it was supposed to do.
Okay, well, you kind of went off the rails there.
All right, but for real though, the pig was annoying and would like nose them. I mean, it wasn't like the pig was just being picked on. He would fight with them, but they weren't ever get bloody. But they get bloody anyway. That was just. I would go over there for barbecues and just watch 3 pit bulls defend a pig that they also bullied, and just be like, "Well, this is Florida."
Florida. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, everyone who has watched this docuseries has 100% known that it was going to be like, that it was Florida. And it's not that it's entirely Florida, but you know what I mean? It's like, you just know before you even turn it on, like, there's going to be some Florida shit. And it's like, even the stuff that ain't Florida is still connected to Florida. Like, Florida is connected to all of it.
And when they were like, let's go to South Carolina, I was like, Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Dude, that's so funny that you say that because exactly. I was sitting there the whole first time. I was like, well, when is Florida going to show up? And they go, boom, Tampa, Florida. And then exactly as you said, they're like, we're going to South Carolina. I'm like, wonder where in South Carolina. And sure as shit, here we go to the fucking Mecca.
Because I knew about Florida and Myrtle Beach, it's got me curious if I've been sleeping on Oklahoma in terms of what's going on there with white trash ridiculous.
Well, I've gotten a bunch of stuff, and I mean, you have too, I'm sure, people mentioning, once we said we were going to do this, there were people on our page from Oklahoma that was just like, man, this is so crazy. Like that we've been screaming about this dude and this particular type of thing in Oklahoma for fucking years now. And the world's finally just, catching up to us and yada, yada, yada. And it makes me so happy to think that because like, if this was my hometown, I would not be like, fuck yeah, we be like, I'd be like, God damn it. Cause now that I'm like in retrospective watching this whole thing, cause this wasn't like this Joe Exotic, who's the main character. He's from Oklahoma. That shit ain't the South. You know what I mean? I mean, they got some rednecks, don't get me wrong. But like as great as this series is, the second I got done with it, I was like, there we go. 2 more steps back for our people.
Right. Well, because you said Oklahoma's not the South, and I was just like, but to a lot of people, like it is to a lot of people now, at least.
And it was, dude, my literal first experience in New York. I got off the plane and I was on the fucking subway or whatever, and I was heading to my first apartment. There was this dude next to me, and he sat down and bumped me, and he said, I'm sorry. And I said, oh, it's all right, buddy. You know, don't worry about it. And he was like, he heard my accent and he was like, oh my God. He goes, can you say that again? And I was like, say what? And I had to start talking to him. He goes, hey, I didn't realize how New York this was until it, like later I told some people. He goes, hey man, I'm an actor and I'm working on a play right now and I play a Southern governor. Can I just like listen to you talk some more? And I was like, yeah. And I started talking. I said, so you play a Southern governor, where, what state? And he's just like, Oklahoma. Yeah. And I was just like, dude, you don't need to fucking talk to me. But yeah, so you're right. It is the same to a lot of people.
Also, man, I mean, dude, we've been to Oklahoma multiple times, and we've met plenty of Oklahoma.
Oh, they read.
Well, and he has that Southern Oklahoma accent, that Texas-y accent, for the record too.
Right.
I mean, Joe does have twang.
For sure.
Joe definitely has twang. What did he say? He goes, he goes, now y'all just remember, there ain't no escalators in the rainforest.
Yeah.
I've only ever heard someone from East Tennessee say escalators.
Yeah. I had often wondered if there was escalators in the rainforest.
Me too.
Now I know.
All right.
Corey.
I bet he could ride a snake up a tree.
Oh, yeah.
Corey, do you have animal experiences?
Man, not like that. Like, I'm kind of bummed out because, like usually you can expect me to come in with just like, oh yeah, at my school we had a show and tell, and you had to wrap a boa constrictor around your neck before you could talk. But like, I ain't got none of that, man. Like this didn't go on where I was. Like we didn't.
Yeah, you're right. This is the first time in my memory since we've all known each other that you haven't had the most insane and red ass stories to contribute from your hometown.
Yeah, and I mean, dude, literally, I can't even nothing. I got literally nothing.
In my hometown, we just had snake people.
We got all our snake people are the church.
Yeah, and tarantulas.
I know some spider people, but like not that charge admission. It's just like at the crib.
Yeah,
like
you didn't have to pay to watch Chris Jones have a tarantula crawl across his stomach and bite him.
Yeah, I was about to say,
he wanted you to see it.
Our tarantula people just, listen to Marilyn Manson at their house. You ain't got to pay anything to see their fucking shit.
Dude, Chris was preppy. He like drove a crotch rocket. I mean, he's like, now he like goes to my mom's church. He's got 2 kids and he coaches basketball. And he's like a real good looking, athletic dude with like, he wasn't into Marilyn Manson. He probably listened to fucking Joe Diffie, rest in peace, also from Oklahoma. But he just liked tarantulas, man.
I don't get it, man. I
don't either. Yeah, some people they just be that way.
And I know it's not even. I know that tarantulas aren't poisonous. I just don't. Like, and you can get whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. It's just like if I'm gonna have a pet, I want it to be like a thing I pet, like this thing hang out and like live.
Let everybody out there go check out friend of the podcast Joe Zimmerman's bit about pet snakes because it's fucking hilarious. But I agree completely. It's just like. I ain't gonna hold it against nobody.
No, do whatever you want to do.
Whatever, but I could not understand it less at all. But like, dude, again, that's a spider. Dude, we talking about tigers. Like, okay. And whenever we get into this in full, as we go through it, there's multiple points where I want to talk about the fact that to me, one of the central themes of this whole docuseries is like the apparently literally intoxicating effect that fucking tigers have on human beings. It's like drugs, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And do you think that's one of those things where it's only a small percentage of people, but it's large enough that you're the only motherfucker within 4 states who owns 5 of them? You gonna get them all?
I mean, maybe, yeah.
Yes. Hell if I know. I don't know. But, I mean...
What about magicians owning tigers? We ain't talked about that. A lot of them that owned it was gay.
They No, you're right.
I didn't see the gay thing coming again, but you're right. It's almost impossible.
It is kind of wild how little magic featured into this tiger show.
I think that, okay, so I don't know how much we want to get. I mean, this isn't part of any episode. The guy who made it, the reason he knows these people is he owns a lot of exotic lizards and reptiles. He's in that world. He's tiger and monkey adjacent. He also left out any weird reptile lizard people.
I thought I could be wrong. We should probably fact check this, but I thought that the guy who made it, he started out trying to make a documentary about lizard people.
Yes,
and found his way into this and just
right. But my point is, since this was white trash, he left them out because he didn't want to look bad on his people. This
I did not realize he also was a lizard person.
He is.
What happened was they attempted to. It started with the investigation of a notorious reptile dealer in South Florida. But when they get there, they found that he had a snow leopard in his van, and that Richard dude or whatever was like, "Wait, what the fuck?" And then he explains to him about the weird underbelly of this whole thing, and then it was like, "Well, fuck that. This is the thing."
Well, what I'm saying is that Richard owns reptiles and snakes. He was an artist in New York in the 60s and 70s. He hung out at the factory. He was tight with Warhol. He dated supermodel Naomi Campbell.
No shit.
That producer dude?
Yeah, he's wild too.
Everybody involved in this guy.
I mean, I knew that he hit, but he fucking that dude who kind of looked like. I mean, did he not kind of look like in the first Harry Potter when dude turns around and Voldemort's on the back of his head? He kind of looked like that. Yeah, he kind of looked like that a little bit. He dated Naomi Campbell.
To me, he looked like not quite as cool Anthony Bourdain. And you gotta understand now, he dated Naomi Campbell like in the 80s.
That's like
when he was 35.
Artist.
Yeah, but he was 35 and rich New York artist.
You'll have to understand, he dated Naomi Campbell when she was very young and a model.
Well, my point was he dated Naomi Campbell when he was a young, successful, rich artist.
Yeah, either way, though, it don't give a fuck when you dated Naomi Campbell or what you were doing or what you're doing now. You hit.
We should get him to do a show with us. I know we can't now, but my point was simply going to be that dude ain't ever done anything but hit at everything he's done. He like moving to New York to be an artist. Everyone fails at that. He fell in with Warhol and hit hard enough to make some money. Then he went to date people, Naomi Campbell. Now he's making documentaries, and it's one of the most successful of all time.
Yeah, but
I mean, my theory is the Magicians, he didn't want to get into that whole world because it was like also felt like a new documentary.
Yeah, probably.
Especially because he went to Vegas. They was right there.
No, I'm with you. I thought magic would feature more heavily into the Tiger show.
Nope, just one 12-year-old boy that he met.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we should spend some more time personally talking about the whole Southern thing and like white trash and white trash. I don't know. I hate to use the word representation, but that's what just happened. You know, here we are doing a whole thing about it. I ain't mad about it. But like I saw a tweet from a guy and I agree with him. He said something, it was an Asian guy. He said something like, white people can put a show out like this and not have to worry about people assuming that's how they all are. And it's like, you're right. White people don't, but Southerners do.
Right.
Well, I got the whole thing. I got roasted because I responded and was like, yeah, well, 2 people have asked me if I knew him. And I'm from 900 miles away.
Yeah.
But it's just a subset of white. And that actually in some ways serves his point. Quote unquote, white people from Connecticut don't have to worry that people think they're Joe Exotic.
Of course not. It's just like that bit I've been trying to fucking figure out for forever about how like we are not the same as them. Like we're all white people, but we ain't what they are, they being like Connecticut white people. And this is part of it. Like you're right. It doesn't reflect on them at all. He's 100% right when it comes to like, you know, yacht ass white people. But like, yeah, dog, like us, we all watched it being like, oh, God damn.
Well,
I get what it's for me, but it's like,
right,
Lord.
Right.
It's
and this isn't funny at all, but the conclusion I was led to by from frankly very sweet hitting Twitter black ladies was that regionalism is very real. It's very shitty. It's used to oppress people, but it don't touch racism. Which obviously,
Of course.
I knew it didn't touch racism. But anyway, that's what we're talking about with your bit. It's like a type of regionalism, which is extra funny because how is 1,000 miles away the same region? This feels like single A football where you had to drive 5 hours to play a team because your school's so goddamn small.
Dude,
How are we in the same region?
I think, and I don't know, this is gonna. I think that motherfucker Joe Exotic could have been in like Montana or something,
Yeah.
and I think it would still feel that way to people.
I
Like,
agree.
it would still just be the South, just because he's a white trash redneck motherfucker. It wouldn't matter if he was in Alaska or wherever.
I
And
agree, except for I do think the accent is a big part of this.
yeah,
Well, it definitely is because people aren't like talking about how Dr. Baklava or whatever the fuck his name is. Like they're not associating him with he doesn't get all the fucking trashy redneck comments. He's just
And
getting
he lives in the South.
right. He lives in the South, but he doesn't have the accent. He's got more of the like, I have several different types of lotions. I have a different lotion for my penis and I'll put it in your butt while wearing this head towel. Like
He has a different lotion for every concubine he has. All of whom he met when they were 16.
yeah. No, he don't
right.
don't hit.
let's not get ahead of ourselves yet. with
Right,
all
right,
that.
you're right.
But yeah, no, right. It's just another in an endlessly long list of things that we as Southerners watch and are just like, oh god damn it, here we go.
And that,
but again, it really hit for me.
no, it really hit for me too, which is why like I kept forgetting that I felt that way. Like I was so glued to the fucking TV, and there was part like I guess because I'm smart and like I'm like this is fucking Oklahoma. The realness didn't set in until when it finally did, I was like, it don't matter. I may as well live in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I've said that plenty of times.
Well, what y'all want to get into it?
We can get into it.
I mean, we're at 30. I don't want to do episode 1. I think we should make this a standalone episode. Personally, if we do 15 more minutes, we can count it as one.
Yeah, I mean,
And I got more preliminary thoughts.
okay.
I want to know this question related to the topic we were just talking about. Do you think it came up at all? Do you think anyone either making that documentary or at Netflix was like, hey, should we talk at all about this region this dude comes from and how a person like this gets made?
No,
I think they were
so.
like, we've got years of footage on that, just in other stuff. Like we know what they're about.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's not as exploitative. How you say that word?
Exploitative.
Exploitative.
It's not as exploitative as say Honey Boo Boo, because it's a much more even-handed look. It ain't my fault this dude walks around with a cane shooting stuff. It didn't feel like they were coaching him the way they did Mama June.
No, no matter of fact, man, it seemed very much like the way that you watch a lot of it. These dudes were very much coaching the fucking documentary staff. Like they knew exactly how they wanted to be presented. Like Baklava was doing, I know that ain't his name. I just can't think of it right now. And it sounds like Baklava, but fucking hell, goddamn old Joe Exotic, man. He did a fucking radio and TV show every single night. Boy, that man knew exactly how he wanted to be presented in front of the camera.
Apparently fucking Tiger people, they know what they're about.
They do.
Well, and they're all still doing interviews. It's like they don't even have shame.
But
You know what I mean?
hell no. There wasn't an ounce of shame in this whole goddamn thing, dude. They don't give a fuck, dog.
No.
We are all wrong. It is us who are wrong.
Yeah, it is us who does not
about
hit.
them.
Yeah.
They all believe that.
And then this is going to be covered when we get into specific episodes a little bit, but this isn't at all the point of the documentary. What was it like for him in general to be a gay tiger-owning man in Oklahoma? And if you ain't seen it yet, surprisingly, they don't cover that. There's like a very brief backstory.
Quite a bit, honestly. I liked that one thing about it, that they never, and I feel like they didn't really cover that because it didn't seem to be a huge part of the whole thing or a huge problem for him. All the other red ass motherfuckers that he had working for them there were just like, yeah, he's got 2 husbands. That's just Joe. What are you gonna do? Whatever. And it's like, and that, like, and that part hit for me just
Do you
because
think-
I felt like that was different than most people would expect.
Do you think that's like a sign that, money can insulate you a little bit? Or just being a red ass insulate you, or a gun insulate you?
I think
what is
a
it?
lot of it was because that dude he was successful. He was also redder than fuck. He kept that thing on him.
I've been saying it. Ain't I been saying it?
You have, man. Like
Gays need to get guns.
No, dude.
They make rainbow colored AK-47s.
I genuinely think there's a lot to be said about the fact that being gay in a rural area was the 19th most interesting thing about him.
Right.
and that's a lot. I mean, like that's like once you see, like when you meet that guy and he's like, I'm gay, I'm broke as shit, I do have drug problems, I have a gun, I got this shit. By the time he gets through all of them, you're like, I think he may have said he was gay, but it can't matter right now because I know I've got too much information.
Well, look, man. I mean, I've on our primary podcast, I've talked before about Big Bob, who I mentioned earlier, and I didn't even realize it at the time, but I've since thought back on how crazy that really is because I grew up in this tiny little fucking town in Tennessee, and this guy was very much prominent in the community. He was like this big, morbidly obese, openly gay man who, that was not a joke, literally brought fucking Puerto Rican prostitutes to high school football games or high school any ball games, whatever. Like it was
Big
just
Bob
out on
living
Front Street.
life.
Everybody knew it, and he had a goddamn zoo. He owned wild animals and shit in the middle of town, and like it was, and like nobody ever acted like any of that was all that crazy. And I don't know, just
Trae,
overload. So, like
I can't.
It's just everything all at once. They're like, yeah, it's just Bob, or something. I don't know.
Trae, I'm gonna need you at some point. I need to know what is Salina Facebook, and what's that other one? It's not Backpage. What's that other one where small town topics? I need to know what Facebook and Topics is saying about the Tiger King in relation to Big Bob. Well, somebody has to have been like, fuck this guy. Why ain't they making a doc? Because you know how homey we are all? Like we all are home. What's that called?
Homers.
When you're Homer. We're all homers. Yeah.
Like, that's where we're from.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I guarantee you there's about 15 people in Salina furious that they made a documentary about this son of a bitch from Oklahoma and not Big Bob. I mean, what's better about him? Oh, he maybe tried to kill a blonde lady? Like Big Bob ain't killed a couple Puerto Rican prostitutes.
I mean, all I know as far as that goes, I'm sure you're right. I ain't looked into it, but on my Salina Boys group text, it's definitely got brought up. Shime was like, I wish Joe Exotic and Big Bob could have met in real life. That would have been some shit.
And fuck the shit out of each other.
Well, yeah. And, so, I mean, like, it definitely goes through people's mind for sure. But I got to say, Big Bob's certainly a character, but like, I mean, I don't think he stacks up to this. Like,
No.
It ain't murder. It ain't, like fucking multiple straight husbands.
No. I guess what I'm saying is like, consider Wade for a second.
Yes. Please, let's consider Wade.
If Wade, we live in a very fucking conservative area that's like fairly bigoted. I hear some rough shit, a lot. It's not a very we're glad the gays can get married feeling type of community. If Wade came out, however, and was like, hey, sometimes I like to get fucked in the butt, everybody would be like, yeah,
right.
I bet.
For any new listeners, whatever, Wade is a guy that Corey knows in his hometown who's just a crazy ass redneck motherfucker.
He jacked off a dog once.
Yes.
Well, more than once. You don't do that
I'm
once.
Sure, it wasn't. Yeah, just one.
One time in a car that Corey was in.
Yeah, here's how I know he did it more than once, because you should have seen how good he did it that time. And what's so funny too is when he was jacking the dog off, Cassio was like, "Hey man, quit jacking my dog off," and Wade just goes, "And I swear to God, what? He likes it."
I mean, he did.
Of course he did. I can't believe the dog like getting jacked up. What I'm saying is, like, with all you know about Wade, if I was to just casually throw in, oh yeah, and by the way, Wade sometimes likes to get fucked in the butt. He's like, everybody would be like, yeah, and like even people who are like against that type of thing will be like, we have already gotten used to who this dude is, anyways. Gay isn't. It don't even fucking register with us.
Yeah. Yeah, this dude was talking about having herpes at my papa's funeral in front of the preacher. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude.
But as far as the Homer thing, Trae, you're completely right. But it's kind of like, you know how like in sports, you'll be like watching somebody play for the University of Tennessee, and there's some dumbass redneck who's like, "Man, that old boy that played at Oak Ridge is better than him." And you're like, "You mean the guy who went to a D2 school and then was like mediocre there?" I don't think so, but you'll just never convince them that the guy that they one time saw dunk in a way that was impressive couldn't beat Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic is the Michael Jordan of wild gay motherfuckers owning cats and having multiple husbands. But I feel like Big Bob is AAA.
Right.
Like,
there's honestly, dude, and y'all know it because I talk, but there's actually more to it than I'm even saying here because I just, like I said, I don't want to. So
you don't want to hurt Carlos.
Ramifications or shit I got. There's just stuff I don't want to.
Well, it's just like any custody case. It's the kids who get hurt. You know.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking about Carlos.
Yeah.
The monkey.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, shit.
The last thing I'll say then for this preamble is it was well done. It's fucking phenomenally done, man.
It's unbelievable, man. Like I genuinely like, you know, as much
you mean the show?
Yeah.
Docuseries.
Yeah,
I thought you meant us just now this past 45 minutes.
Fuck no.
You're right.
No, man, like it was genuinely so my friend, the way I got into it is my friend Sarah messaged me like I guess last week or whatever, and she's like, "Have you seen Tiger King?" I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And she goes, "This dude is she goes, it's like if you mix DJ Lewis, friend of the podcast, DJ Lewis." She said it's like if you mix DJ Lewis with Jeffrey Dendy, and for those of you that don't know, Jeffrey Dendy was me and Sarah's old boss, who was a lunatic gay florist who has recently passed on. And as soon as she said that, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking in. And I totally thought like, all right, this is going to be one of them, like, I don't know, like a Honey Boo Boo type thing where it's just like, here's a crazy person and I'm supposed to go and this is going to be like stupidity porn. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. And as like, not even 5 minutes in, because I watch a lot of shit and I have a good appreciation for stuff and I'm kind of a snob with things. I was like, immediately I was like, no, I mean, it might be that, but like, they've already set some shit up here. This is about to be fucking wild. This is really well done. And it never fucking deviates from that. Like every fucking, I won't even say 5 minutes, less than that. Like every 45 seconds, you think to yourself, you're like, that's the craziest shit I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And before those words can even leave your mouth, you're like, nope, that was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was fucking so well done. I watched it all in one go. Of course, I ain't got no kids, but it was just 7 hours. Like we turned it on and 7 hours later, it was like, can I go pee? Jesus Christ. So yeah, man, I can't say enough good things about it.
I thought it was going to be justice porn, to piggyback off your stupidity porn comment. I do think it was a little bit stupidity porn.
I mean, yeah.
But it was so well done. You ever like stop jacking off sometimes in a porn and you're just like, man, look at how they captured that. I mean, me neither. But the point is, it's like it is stupidity porn. It's just well done.
Dude, I think it's more fucking lunacy porn than
right.
straight up stupidity porn, you know what I mean? But also like I had written back when stand-up comedy still existed and was legal.
I remember that.
We had shows coming up. I had a new bit I was about to try out, and this is before Tiger King, all about true crime as a genre and how like popular it's gotten, how much my wife loves it, and how it does not hit for me. And I'm not going to go into the actual bit, but like Tiger King, if I ever am going to try that again, I'm going to have to include a Tiger King disclaimer about it because it's like it completely changed that entirely for me.
But like you know, and I know we're not getting into the nuts and bolts, but you don't even really hear about that crime until way late.
No,
we
they
all knew
open
about
with
it.
They open with it, and it don't
Oh,
come
right,
back
they
until way
teased it.
late. But also, it's crime, dog. It's crime throughout.
Yeah,
So
but it's
much
not a
crime.
crime doc till the end, I guess.
So
is what I
much
mean.
crime. But yeah, like my point is, and it is very different. It's its own thing. I've never seen nothing else like it, and that really is the big thing about it. But like my point is, the general like genre it exists in is not one that I typically have been very into or been a big fan of, and I could not tear myself away from this shit, man. It was fucking insane.
Well, I guess we'll put this episode out telling people you can listen to this one even if you've never seen it. If you have never seen it, go fucking watch it.
Yeah. But when we come back on the next episode of Tiger by the Tail, we're going to get into it for real. So we'll see y'all there.
Ew.
Me out. I don't know. I ain't got it.
Escalators.
Escalators.
Well, Wynwood, Oklahoma's where we meet our Tiger King. He's got them monkey chimps and tiger cubs, the cutest thing you've seen. He's got all his meth head buddies, and they're all working for free, serving cheap Totino's pizza covered in rotten Walmart meat. Then, of course, there's old Doc Antle. The Tigers made him rich. And don't forget about Carol Baskins. Man, we fucking hate that bitch. We got a tiger by the tail, baby. Tiger by the tail, we got a tiger by the tail, baby. Tiger by the tail.